Make sure to smash the like button on this video. Subscribe to 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube. We need the traffic, guys, because I'm starting to think my series bet on Golden State could be in a little bit of trouble. Oh, it is a Thursday episode on a really crappy, really rainy day. I've had a lot of those here in Miami and in the South Florida area. Even our guy Hussam Patel, who lives up in Orlando, was the weather sucks up there as well. So Florida, we are underwater. Welcome into another episode of Donno Daily here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. I am Alex Donno, going to be joined in about 10 minutes by very professional coughing on the show. I wish I could make that part of a bit, but all of a sudden I was overcome by a coughing attack. And I think we already have your answer, David. What can go wrong today? My lungs apparently can go wrong today. More importantly, my series bet on the Golden State Warriors minus 150. It's not going to go wrong at least for a few more days, but that looks like it might be going wrong as well. And I also have Steph Curry, Finals MVP, at even money. He's not getting that if Golden State doesn't win the series. Impressive stuff from the Celtics. Their defense, their physicality, most of all, the way that they just wear Golden State down heading into these fourth quarters. They had another big fourth quarter last night after the Warriors. You thought we're going to cruise here, right? Steph Curry has a 15-point third quarter. GSW outscores Boston 33-25 on the road in the third. You head into a big fourth quarter, and then Boston outscores Golden State 23-11 in that final quarter. Boston are plus 40 in the fourth quarters so far in this series. That makes a big difference. And I know that the Celtics fans who during that Heat series were always like, well, hey, when the Heat had a 2-1 lead in the series, well, we've won more quarters than they've won. Like, who cares how many quarters you win? But, now the shoe is on the other foot because Golden State is winning more quarters than Boston, but Boston's winning these fourth quarters, and they're winning these fourth quarters big. Draymond Green. Has anybody found him? Is he still on a milk carton? Draymond Green attempts 4 shots yesterday, 2 points, 1 for 4. Just not good enough, man. The bully has been getting bullied so far in this series. So when Ricky J. Marc comes on, we're going to have him help us handicap the rest of the series because, I've got a vested interest in Golden State Warriors coming back and winning the series. Game 4, which is tomorrow night, again in Boston, it's really going to decide the future, right? If Boston takes the 3-1 series lead, it's basically over, right? I know, okay, listen, I know we've had 3-1 series finals deficits before, not too long ago, where a team comes back and wins. But 3-1 is going to be tough against this Boston Celtics team. Going to be tough to come back from that. So it's a must win for Golden State. It's not a must win for Boston, but they can really put their boot on the throat of Golden State if they can take that 3-1 series lead. David writes in, Donno's offseason betting ruining things for everybody else. Certainly ruining things for Draymond Green. Donno, your mushing ability is just natural. Even when me and Rob aren't pressuring you, it's doing something. What can I say? I've been doing good this week playing online blackjack. The sports bets outside of international soccer and Taiwanese basketball, where I'm actually doing pretty well, in American basketball and American baseball, I'm not doing so well this week. I did win game 2 on Golden State, but I've bet Golden State. Not only did I bet them for the series, but I also have bet the Warriors in every game that they've played so far individually against the spread. Obviously lost game 1, obviously lost game 3. I did win game 2. So the betting has not been going great. But yeah, if you guys are in here right now, not only do you need to remember to smash the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, but partake in the live chat, guys. If you're logged into your YouTube or your Google account, I'm not sure if it's the same thing. I think it is, but if you're logged in, chat with us. Hello to HM. Let's go Heat. Let's go Heat. Hello to Ian from Brooklyn. Thank you so much for listening in today. Guys, I want to remind you of something. Actually, remind you. I don't think I've talked about this on Five Reasons Sports for a couple of weeks, but we are going to be coming back tonight at 6 p.m. with Combat Sports Talk. So those of you who are in, especially to MMA, because we're going to be previewing UFC 275 this weekend, it's going to be me, Frank Zaffrey, and Jonathan Ramlakan going live tonight to preview UFC 275 at 6 p.m. So set your calendars. Virtual calendars, write it on like the actual puppy calendar that you have like hanging in your kitchen. Mark it in your calendars tonight, 6 p.m. We are bringing back our 5 rounds combat sports coverage, so that is going to be good. Yeah, Brooklyn Rob, no surprises here. The betting is not going great. No surprise. I should stick to blackjack, focus on that more than betting on sports. I'm good at blackjack. Like, I'm not like Craig Carton good, although Craig Carton ended up losing a bunch of money eventually on blackjack, but I'm pretty good, man. Maybe I should just stick to that. I'd like to talk about Tyler's open almost demand to start. What does it mean for the Heat? Does it affect how likely he is to be moved? That's a great question. I don't know if that demand specifically will have anything to do with him getting moved or not, because I don't think it changes anything. I think Pat Riley, if it could get him the right player in return, like Donovan Mitchell, I think Riley is more than willing to put together a package to send Tyler Herro to Utah or wherever if it's getting you the right player in return. I think Riley likes Herro enough that he's not doing somersaults trying to trade him, obviously, but if it's for the right piece, I don't think what Tyler said has anything to do with that. But I love what Riley said. I mean, on Monday, when Pat Riley is talking about, you got to earn it, right? You've got to show me what a two-way player you are. You actually have to earn the right to start, right? And listen, Herro might have actually earned that anyway. Just the thing that I'm disappointed with. And I have to wonder how much this could, affect his trade value in a negative way. I was going to use the word damage his trade value, but I think damage is too strong of a word because Herro he's a really tradable piece, I think, regardless, based on his overall body of work so far and his youth. But just him not having a good playoff run, especially not against Boston. And I know he was hurt for part of that time, but he was healthy for part of that time, and he just had a very ineffective playoff. I wonder how that affected his trade stock negatively, right? Because if Herro had like really broken out in the playoffs, then, well, the Heat probably wouldn't even think about trading him in the first place if he was awesome in the playoffs. But I wonder how that may have affected his trade value. Brooklyn Rob says, when are you going to open up the channel for a panel? You've been promising us regarding that for months. You're just too much of a control freak. I still do want to do that. Maybe we should do that tomorrow if I have a show, because if I do a show tomorrow, and I think I will, not exactly sure what time yet, but like, I don't know if I'll be able to put any specific prep into tomorrow's stream, because I'm going to be filling in for Zaslow tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on 560. So, I mean, I'll probably just use like the same notes that I have from that show, but then I don't want to do like the same show again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to try to mix it up a little bit. So maybe I'll just invite some of you clowns on here, and we can yuck it up together. Now, here's someone who is not a clown, although he does amuse me in all the right ways. Ricky J. Marc is with us. Ricky J. Marc. Now, sir, I have a bad memory. We haven't spoken on the show since before the Heat got knocked out. Do I have that right? The last time we spoke, it was still during the Eastern Conference Finals, or have we spoken since they got eliminated?
No, I think it was right before Game 7. I don't think it was the same day, but I think it was right before Game 7. Yeah.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure. So, okay. Boston, obviously, they've made a meal out of it so far since beating the Heat in that game 7. They've got this 2-1 lead now, Ricky, against
Hmm.
Golden State, and the Celtics have been really impressive. The plus 40 in the fourth quarters, just the physicality, the defense, the way that they
Yes.
wear Golden State down during these games. Is Golden State going to come back and win this thing, or is this now really Boston's series to lose?
Uh, no and yes in that order. Golden State they're not going to come back and win this series. It's nothing against them necessarily. They just don't have enough. Boston's defense and their approach to the way they've approached this series. There's a sense of inevitability I haven't seen since the Prophet Thanos, or before him, the 2014 NBA Finals, when no matter what the Miami Heat did for little bursts, no matter what LeBron did, the system that he was up against in San Antonio was just too much. He had to do too much to get his points. And unfortunately, that turned out into the 5-game series that you saw. Before this series, I picked the Celtics in 6
I didn't know
because quite frankly, their defense has proven itself to be much more consistent than what we've seen out of Golden State. For a very long time, Golden State has been able to benefit from having a historic level of three-point shooting talent, to the point where it's like, okay, they can hit a bunch of threes, and their guys take some of the worst threes in NBA history. Their threes just go in. And back in those days, they had really good defense. These days, not so much, unfortunately. It's just, look at what Steph Curry and Klay Thompson did in the first 3 quarters of that game. And the most they got was, I think, a 3-point lead for about a minute.
Yep.
And the Celtics just roared back like they did in game 1, and could have done in game 2 if it weren't for a few other, tweaks that happened.
Yeah, this is good stuff here from Ricky J. Marc. So, okay, what's your before we get to the off the court stuff with the Heat, on the court, what's your biggest regret from that 7-game series loss?
Well, honestly, it's that Jimmy's 3 didn't go down. Despite everything, I think what we've seen in the first 3 games of this NBA Finals series is that, holy cow, Jimmy almost beat them.
Yeah.
This same team that is about to that could very well go up 3-1 in a couple of nights on the Warriors, they almost beat this team. And it, like, the Celtics practically gift wrapped the final minute of that game to them. But with Miami, it's just, look, we've had these conversations on the basement, on the multiple spaces that have taken place on Twitter, which have been very lively, to say the least. Shout out to Royal, Threat, Kendall, Adam. Oh God, I hope I'm not forgetting anyone else. If I have, sorry, this is like off the top. So please, this is not personal. But they've been doing some post-mortem coverage, which has been fantastic.
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah, look, it's just Jimmy needs help. Kyle Lowry, no. Tyler Herro, no. Bam Adebayo, I don't think we have enough time on this show for me to talk about that. He needs more help, and he needs more offensive help. But we've seen this problem. We've seen this happen back in 2005, where Riley switched from a more defensive to a more offensive-oriented team, and they went and won the title. Now, is that the same thing? No, this season, because quite frankly, we don't have the same kind of core as a slightly past his prime Shaq and a ascendant weight. That's not what Miami has right now. 2 of your best players are in the mid to late 30s, with Jimmy's knee being in his late 30s, thanks to what we saw out of Thibodeau in Chicago and Minnesota. Bam isn't aggressive enough. Tyler has a ceiling that isn't anywhere close to what the Bradley Beals and the Zach LaVines of the world have. That's just the way it is. Miami reached its ceiling, and the Jimmy 3, had it gone down, we'd be talking about something else completely, but it didn't. So, that's just basketball. That's just the way it is. I mean, it wasn't just that 3 necessarily, but if you really think about it, think of the blowout that the Celtics were on their way to securing in that game before it happened. They couldn't hit shots when they needed to. And don't get me started on Duncan Robinson, because,
oh my gosh,
I mean,
I don't want to get started on Duncan either.
Not a problem. because, highway
Right.
robbery. But
I
digress.
did see he was on that little podcast of his, talking about how like painful it was to be on the bench in the playoffs. Like,
He
okay,
earned it.
okay,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hit some threes and play defense and grab a rebound every once in a while, and maybe Spo will throw you out there. I mean,
Right.
you know what it is. But yeah, it's tough. But look, I'm looking forward to seeing what Riley has in store for this Heat team, this Heat roster. Because, and look, I sent this tweet out some time ago, and the comment section that don't know how to read flamed me for it. I'm prepared to declare it again. If this Heat team doesn't make wholesale changes this offseason, they will struggle to make the playoffs. Now, struggle to make the playoffs doesn't mean the 14th seed in the conference. It means struggle, because the rest of the conference is going to get better. And if Miami doesn't improve, meaning they don't get younger, they don't get more athletic, they don't get bigger, then so be it. Not only that, but you got to also factor in, considering the contracts that are on this team, you're going to have to make those wholesale changes in order to improve this team. There's no way around it.
Okay, so what do you consider then to be wholesale changes? Would it be something even bigger than trying to move? Obviously, Tyler is the most tradable piece on this team. I do think Duncan, if nothing else, is like a throw in on Tyler has value. Is Kyle Lowry tradable? Like, how many guys are you moving to consider it wholesale changes?
Everybody outside of Bam and Jimmy, quite frankly, everybody. Because here's the thing. If you trade Bam, you better get either a Nikola Jokic or a Joel Embiid back. And they're not trading their guys for Bam. So leave that alone. I can't. Right. And Anthony Davis is glass. So that's no. And the Lakers would never do that deal. Everybody else, Kyle Lowry, those big contracts, those are what you're going to have to move, unfortunately. Where we are at right now is that, look, we know what Jimmy's going to give you in the playoffs when he's healthy. We know what Bam is going to do on defense, I guess, for the most part. But aside from those two guys, you ship this whole team out. You bring in the guys that you need, because right now, like Pat Riley said during his presser, he's 77 years old or
77.
Something like that.
He can still do more. He could do more push-ups than any of us.
Exactly. He's pushing 80, and I don't want to get too dark, but
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Need I say more? He's going to want to win a title pretty soon before he retires. So let's do it. I mean, everybody else except for Bam and Jimmy, I have practical reasons for Bam, as I just mentioned. Jimmy, I don't see a point in trading him unless you get back I don't know. I can't, like, the caliber of player Jimmy is, I can't imagine a team being willing enough to trade for him, given who they would be sending back that we would want. It's just not very logical to me.
Now, I want to remind our guy HM, this is a safe space here.
No,
right?
No.
But it's a safe. Don't be mean. It's a safe space, so you don't want any part of Kyrie. Neither do I, by the way. But
no. Look, okay, he's a headache. I think we discussed this a couple of Donno dailies ago. He's a headache. Yeah. He's injury prone. He's played like 50% of his games, and he plays 50% of the ball. So that's like, I mean, come on. Like, no. Kyrie Irving can't be your best player. You will not win a championship, and he's a liability on defense. He's a liability on the court. He's a liability off the court. And don't get me started on that other stuff. I am out on Kyrie Irving. This is the same guy who allowed this idea that he thinks the earth is flat to perpetuate for 2 years.
He made me question the shape of the earth. He did, but a lot of his other stuff is crazy.
Yeah, it's just it's just at this point with him, it's like, I mean, he's a contrarian without a cause, and I don't need that anywhere near my team. I'm not quite, but here's the thing: like at this point, I'm prepared to say this. I got no problem turning my attention elsewhere if he ends up on this team somehow.
Okay,
like yeah.
So let's talk about other possible whales that may be out there. And I saw, our buddy Brian Windhorst did say on the Rich Eisen show that he does expect the Heat to be hunters this offseason. I just think the question is, who's going to be available? Like what big whales can the Heat cause other teams to part ways with, right? And Donovan Mitchell, a name gets thrown out a lot. What potential big names do you think could end up being realistically attainable?
So I think some of the conversations that we've had in the basement have included guys like Zach LaVine, guys like Bradley Beal potentially. There aren't really that many big time players out there that you could foresee being traded to Miami, quite frankly, because here's the thing. I know Heat fans love to say this. Yeah, let's trade for this guy. Let's trade for that guy. But we also have to understand the other side of the equation. Would that team trade what we have to get rid of that player that they currently have? Because guys like Donovan Mitchell, right? We know the situation in Utah, how it's kind of tenuous. They just let they just let Quinn Snyder go. It's a possibility, right? Bradley Beal is a similar situation because the Washington Wizards are the closest thing to a dumpster fire as I've seen in a while. Zach LaVine is uncertain, even though the Bulls were for a certain amount of time the number one seed in the conference, and maybe he might be losing interest in Chicago. However, there is promise there, and I could completely understand why he would stay there. If you trade for Zach LaVine, I think we have to ask ourselves, would the Bulls take back a combination like Tyler Herro, Kyle Lowry to be reunited with his bestie, and whatever other things that need to be done in order to make the salaries add up? Maybe. Donovan Mitchell, I don't know. I know the team has tried to put on a strong face by saying it has to be an amazing offer. But quite frankly, if you're Utah and you see Tyler Herro, Kyle Lowry at 36, 37, and Omer Yurtseven, do you think that's enough? Plus a first-round pick that presumably is going to be at the end of the first round, because the idea is that the Heat will be a top-seeded team that is a finals contender. Do you think that package would be enough?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I think there might have to be a third or fourth team involved to sweeten the pot a little bit, some exchange of picks. But then again, Miami's not known for necessarily having all that many because Riley throws those things out like poker chips. So, it's going to be interesting. I think Zach LaVine is possible. I think maybe Bradley Beal is possible. But I think what also needs to happen is those players need to express an open desire without getting that, conduct detrimental to the team fine. I think those guys need to express an open desire to go to Miami to help grease the skids on a potential trade down to South Florida, because without that, I don't see how that happens, quite frankly. It's tough.
Does 77-year-old Pat Riley get another ring before he walks away?
So remember the last time we were on, I did say, I looked straight into camera one, and I said the Miami Heat were going to win the NBA championship. I did say that.
You did.
Caveat, I didn't say when. So a lot of y'all thought I was saying this year. I didn't say when. So there you go. If you had seen a comma this season, fine. Okay. And they did beat Boston in that game 6. So I'm free. I'm free of, I'm not guilty or by reason of reason. I think they do. I do believe that the Miami Heat will win another championship before Pat Riley hangs it up and gives the keys over to either Shane Battier or Eric Spoelstra. Because at this point, I think there is something here. The margin for error is very slim, but I am a believer that this Heat team will pull the right. I don't want to say trigger; it's too soon. I got to read the room. Pull the right strings to, pull off the kind of deal that would bring this Heat team back into not only finals contention but finals victory.
Is Spectre right here? Is this somebody we should even talk about? Should we even waste our breath on KD?
KD. I mean, so the thing with KD is that, okay, if Kyrie opts out, great, bye, get out of here. I mean, quite frankly, I hope they find a way to trade him for Damian Lillard or something, because I feel like that. Remember, I was born in New York, right? So the city deserves better. But look,
I don't think so.
No, that's fine. That's okay. That's just, that's my heart. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think so. Yeah, it'll be fine. They're the largest market in the country. Take that. No, but the thing is with Donno is the thing is with Durant is that I don't know if he'll necessarily leave. I doubt it. I'd like to see it to believe it, because he's got business interests in the city that have grown quite a bit since he got there, and that's one of the reasons why he came to New York, Brooklyn to be exact. So if Kyrie opts out, okay, I think KD has a bigger picture, I would assume, that he would want to hold on to. And of course, again, the salary's got to match, because KD's making a huge amount of money, and that would require a team likely gutting themselves. And I can't imagine him wanting to go to another small market team after starting his career first in Seattle, bring back the Sonics, and then OKC for like 7 years. It felt like, I don't know. I don't see that. I don't see it. I don't see that happening.
Let people know where they can find you, and what are you up to? You still doing all spaces and everything and shows? How active is your off season?
Well, I mean, we're doing our thing. We're doing our thing. I occasionally stop in when the basement does when they do their streams in the evening. They pop up randomly. Sometimes I don't even know. Like, I'll see a tweet, it's like, oh wow, they're going on tonight. Okay, cool. We do have spaces. You can catch me on Spaces, Twitter, all my socials. What is it right here? There we go. At Ricky J Marc, rickyjmarc.com. Yeah, I got to do the whole mirror thing. You can find me there. Engage with me on Twitter. I'd love to have intelligent conversations with people. I look forward to that kind of thing. Unfortunately, social media is a place where nuance and good faith discussions go to die, but I'm still a believer that such things can happen. I'll give you a perfect example. The other day, someone was like, I still think the Warriors have a shot to win this series. And so, I didn't troll him or anything. I was like, look, all right, make the case, because I don't believe they can. Yeah. And then the response was like, yeah, man, they've got a great coach and blah, blah, blah. But like, that Spo was a great coach. He lost a week and a half ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's not enough. Like, make the case. Let's have an intelligent discussion about this, as opposed to telling me, I don't know, man. I just don't want, I'm tired of the Celtics narrative. Like,
it's great logic right there. I'm tired of it.
They're going to win. Like, that's all it is. Even one last thing, even like just the other day, during a Spaces, there was a gentleman, I forget his name, but he brought on, he tried to introduce to the discussion how Tyler Herro's numbers per 36 were on par with Bradley Beal's. And it's like, do you want to, do you want to pay more for what Bradley Beal already produces when you already theoretically have that here or whatever? And then a whole bunch of folks just started flaming him. And it's like, no, like, we don't have to do that, because the way he presented it was respectful. He wasn't like being a jerk or anything. He was legitimately like introducing something into the debate, which theoretically would allow you to reinforce your beliefs by welcoming a challenge to them.
Yeah.
And, I commended him for that. I didn't necessarily agree with him, because if a Bradley Beal deal is available and you're not really gutting your team, you make that trade. I feel like most of Twitter would agree with me. But then again, like I mentioned during that particular Spaces, there are still some people that think that Eddie Jones shouldn't have been traded in the summer of 2005. So, as some people will think what they want, despite the fact that we've won, 3 titles since?
Yeah. I mean, trading Eddie Jones might have been the key, although he is my favorite Heat player to ever wear the number 6, or at least he's not my least favorite to wear.
He ain't the greatest. I'll be back for that debate.
I love it. Well, listen, everyone, make sure you follow at Ricky J Marc on Twitter. Check out his website as well, rickyjmarc.com. They do a lot of great things on there. Ricky, thank you so much, my friend. We will talk again soon.
Of course, my pleasure. Have a good one, Donno.
I love it. Always a great time talking with Ricky. And it's always a great time when we load up on our Prize Picks selections. And we only have one night between NBA Finals games, so we don't have to wait like the usual 3 nights, because they are back tomorrow, and it sounds like we should probably be loading up on Celtics overs a little bit more. Certainly don't take any Draymond Green overs tomorrow night when you're on prizepicks.com. You can sign up prizepicks.com or the Prize Picks mobile app. It works great in the Apple Store. What do they call the Android one? I don't know, only losers have Androids. You can download it in the Android store as well. The Prize Picks mobile app. Guys, this is combining my love of daily fantasy for my love for parlays. It's so easy to make your selection. Select 2, 3, or 4 players and just pick if they're going to go over or under their fantasy projections. It takes less than 60 seconds to make your selections, and you win real money. You can win 10 times your money for getting 4 selections correct, double your money for getting 2 selections correct. It's addicting. It's a lot of fun. And hey, if our Miami Heat are not going to be in the finals, we can at least make some money watching the NBA finals. So sign up today at prizepicks.com or the Prize Picks mobile app, and make sure you sign up with our code 5. That's FIVE. Sign up with our code 5, and they're going to match your first deposit 100% up to $100. You can double your money. So sign up with our code FIVE and get a little extra spending money in that Prize Picks account of yours. Prize Picks truly is daily fantasy simplified. Most can't even get one correct. There's no payout for just getting one. You got to get at least 2 correct. The selections are at least 2. I've won a few of them, Brooklyn Rob, but even when you lose, it's fun. Oh, I love it. Big John Stud. Big John Stud. Set your calendar for tomorrow, my friend. I'm going to be coming for you. Not in a bad way. Let's chat on the show tomorrow. Donno is warming up for September at Brooklyn Rob. Yeah, my mushing powers are going to go to the moon. All right, so yeah, hello Brooklyn Rob, hello David, hello Big John Stud, hello Alex M. I know Alex M is a big fight fan. Bros, we're going to be back on 5 rounds tonight, 6 p.m. Could be previewing UFC 275. Me, Frank Zaffrey, and Jonathan Ramlakan will be hitting it on 5 Reasons YouTube this evening. And also, we have a YouTube channel. It's going to be simulcast on Combat Center is the name of the channel. So make sure you subscribe to Combat Center. Help us grow that platform. Juan, thank you so much. Yeah, it would be great. Supersonics come back and then KD retires with them. That would be sweet. Trade everyone, Daniel says. And also, Daniel, feel better, man. He says he's loopy from COVID-19. I hope you're doing all right, sir, and that you have as few symptoms as you possibly can with that. I think I already shouted out Alex M. Hello. Hello, HM. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Marcus. Donovan would have to say, get me to Miami. Basically, like you need to say it without tampering. Jay Smith, thank you so much for tuning in. Spectre 7007. It's got to be James Bond related, right? Spectre from Bond. It's a good criminal organization. They do terrible things, but it's a good, they're good in the movies. Artman, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Appreciate you. MM, hello. Yeah. I love the hypothetical trade scenarios. Get Miles Turner or Jeremy Grant plus a big name. That's what we want, man. We want the whales. We want the big names. Bye-bye, Lowry, he said. Let's see who else. Orlando, thank you so much for tuning in. Now that Herro got caught cheating, even more drama. Yeah, I mean, it's out there publicly. Katya clearly very upset about it. You can understand. I don't know. I don't spend a whole lot of time like talking about people getting caught cheating, personal lives. I mean, where do I start? Like, is he the first NBA player to do that? He might be the 1,000th, like might be the 1,000,000th pro athlete to to sleep around a little bit. If he really did do that, I'm sorry to hear it. I just, for the sake of his family, because he's got a young kid, I hope they can work it out and they can figure it out. They can figure out their relationship issues. Brian, thank you so much for tuning in. Ian from Brooklyn, thank you so much. I think I might have gotten everybody. If I missed anybody, sorry. Didn't skip anyone on purpose. Let's see if anybody else snuck in at the end. Dennis snuck in. Donno, what's good? The man, the myth, the legend. You talking to me? You talking to me? No. I'm not the man, the myth, the legend. Alex Donno Jones is the man, the myth, the legend. Listen, folks, you have to understand, the real conspiracy, the globalists are behind this, the elites, the Illuminati. I may or may not have paid this man, Dennis, to say nice things about the show. I may or may not be lining his pockets with dough. I can only do that so long before it completely destroys my voice. Yeah, or NFL or MLS or NHL or MLB. They're on the road all the time. It's unfortunate and it's tough. It's very straining on the relationship when you travel that much and you make that money and you're that famous. I think it's very straining on a relationship. All right, my friends, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to support Prize Picks. Make sure to support betus.com with our code 5RSN125 for 125% sign up bonus. And we will talk to you guys again next time on another episode of Donno Daily on the 5 Reasons Sports Network. See ya.